Good morning friends. Today in this video we will learn the attachment in the all three cranial fossa along with the interior of the skull. So in the interior of skull, anteriorly in the frontal bone there is a frontal crest which gives attachment to the falx cerebri. We can see here the sagittal sulcus. The two lips of the sagittal sulcus will give attachment to the upper border of the falx cerebri. Now in the anterior cranial fossa, this is a continuation of frontal crest giving attachment to the falx cerebri. This projection in the cribriform plate is known as the crista galli, which gives attachment to the anterior end of the falx cerebri. The anterior cranial fossa will lodge the frontal lobe of the cerebral hemisphere. Now coming to the middle cranial fossa, the middle cranial fossa has here the free margin of the lesser wing of sphenoid, and this is known as the anticlinoid process. This part is known as the sulcus chiasmaticus. The posterior border of it is known as the tuberculum sella, and the posterior most projection over here is known as the dorsum sella. So this tuberculum sella along with the dorsum sella gives attachment to the diaphragma cella. The lateral end of the dorsum sella are known as the posterior clinoid process. So we have here the anterior clinoid process and here the posterior clinoid process. So the tentorium cerebelli has two margin. One is the free margin and attached margin. So the free margin is attached to the anterior clinoid process and the attached margin is attached to the posterior clinoid process. The rest of the attached margin of the tentorium cerebelli is attached to the superior border of the petrous temporal bone over the transverse sulcus, here over the internal occipital protuberance. Now the middle cranial fossa will lodge the temporal surface of the cerebral hemisphere. Now coming to the posterior cranial fossa. In the posterior cranial fossa, this sloping area is known as the clivus. So the clivus gives attachment to the from below upward. It is the apical ligament of the dens that is extending from the second cervical vertebra. Above that it will have the upper band of the cruciate ligament that will also extend from the dens part or the axis vertebra, and still more upper part there is a membrana tectoria. So these are the three structures from below upward: the apical ligament of dens, the upper band of the cruciate ligament, and the membrana tectoria. This is known as the jugular tubercle. This is grooved by the 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve, that is the glossopharyngeal, vagus and the accessory nerves. As we discussed, it is the superior border of petrous temporal bone and the transverse sulcus will give attachment to the tentorium cerebelli. The posterior cranial fossa will lodge the hindbrain, that is the pons and medulla in the front and the cerebellum behind. The internal occipital crest here provides attachment to the falx cerebelli. The subarcuate fossa over here in the posterior cranial fossa will lodge the flocculus of the cerebellum. On either side of this sella turcica, the sella turcica has the, in the middle cranial fossa, the sella turcica has the fossa which is known as the hypophyseal fossa, which lodge the hypophysis cerebri or pituitary gland, and on either side of it there will be presence of the cavernous sinus. Now the applied aspect of this cranial fossa: whenever there is a fracture of the anterior cranial fossa, as the cribriform plate forms the roof of the nose, the fracture over here will lead to the bleeding from the nose or the CSF coming out through the nose, that is called as CSF rhinorrhea. And as it will form the roof of the orbit, it may present as the black eye. The person may come with the complaint of the black eye when there is a fracture in the anterior cranial fossa. If there is a fracture in the middle cranial fossa, as this sphenoid bone which forms here the hypophyseal fossa or the sella turcica, which forms the roof of the nasopharynx, so it will communicate with the nose as well as the mouth. So the fracture of the middle cranial fossa is presented as the bleeding from the nose as well as the mouth. Whenever there is a fracture in the posterior cranial fossa, the mastoid process which is over here, it has an attachment of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. So the bruise over the sternocleidomastoid may be C.